And Dodge and Dennis here, ready to give you the latest news in mixed martial arts, break down the fight cards, and also review TUF, which was on Wednesday night. Big thanks to our sponsors, StrongboardBalance.com and MyMMAnews.com. Get on board, change the way you work out, StrongboardBalance.com.
Touching the virtual sponsors. I
don't even know who has the Strongboard right now.
I was supposed to get it.
Nobody had Strongboard and nobody worked out.
I worked out, just not on a Strongboard.
There you go. Joey worked out this week.
That's right.
Somebody told me I was supposed to get it, and I never got it.
It's right by the front door on your way out.
All right, I'll take it.
There, grab it.
And if you want one, you can get in their contests on Instagram.
I actually got a release to start doing more exercising and running for my chiropractor today.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so StrongboardBalance.com, place to go to get one of those. Breaking news, MyMMAnews.com. Good place to go because they're 24/7. We do this once a week. Big thanks to them for being a part of the show. And you can find us anywhere podcasts and broadcasts. Just got picked up by two new podcasts, too.
Yeah, put me on the spot. I don't know.
We got picked up by a couple new podcast sites this week. So that's
in
really
the
cool.
UK.
So thanks for listening and sharing. Yeah. Tell your friends. Go to SplitDecisionMMA.com for our website, Split Decision MMA Podcast on Facebook, and SD_MMA on Twitter and Instagram. With that being said and done, we're going to go ahead and jump into the news here with a challenge from TJ Dillashaw.
TJ Dillashaw went on Instagram pretty much while the UFC Fight Night was going on, and decided to challenge Dominic Cruz. Like he's done multiple times. He's asked to fight Dominic Cruz. He wants to fight Dominic Cruz. He wants his rematch. This time he's offered him $100,000.
Out of his own pocket.
Out of his own pocket. He says, he's congratulate Dominic Cruz for making the comeback. It's time to put your money where your mouth is. I'm tired of all the drama. No more campaigning. No more shit talk. Let's get this title fight rematch. I'm willing to bet $100,000 I can beat you in a rematch. You win, I fight for free. You lose, you match my bet. Time to put up or shut up. I believe I'm the better fighter and I want to prove it. Where you at? Don't be scared, homie. This is as real as it gets. Talk about money fights.
I like the tactic.
Look no more. I believe in myself, so do you.
Yeah, I like the tactics.
I mean, you got to try something at this point.
Yeah.
Wait, Jose Aldo should try $100,000 bet then.
Yeah, but it's got. To me, it's got to be more than $100K, right?
I don't know. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for six figures. We talked about my price on things before.
Yeah, but I mean, you're trying to call out these people, where $500,000 is chump change to them.
Entry level.
Yeah.
Think so?
I don't even know what the number. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna talk about it later. We're hearing things about $10 million,
right,
from somebody who hasn't fought in
allegedly.
It's all allegedly, but I mean,
there's a lot of allegedly things happening.
Well, I think it's a smart tactic. I hope it pays off.
Oh, it's a great tactic, but I mean, the figures I would think would need to be a little bit higher.
I think Jose Aldo should be able to bet like one city in Brazil.
What do you think? Okay, what do you think he's making just hosting on TV?
Who?
Dominic Cruz?
Yeah,
I don't know. Ask Chael Sonnen.
He's probably got a six-figure contract.
Chael Sonnen would tell you $8 million. I mean, $8 million.
He's probably got a six-figure contract.
I know, but
just
100,000, 500,000.
I don't think he's making $1 million to host the show
a year.
Co-host.
No, yeah,
co-host,
it's co-host. No,
and only that, but isn't he like? He's not always on there, right? He's only there for like fight nights and stuff like that.
He's working his way, he says, to be Joe Rogan.
Oh,
really?
I'd rather have Dan Hardy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Brian Stan.
Brian Stan.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Former professional wrestler Ryback Allen Reeves is reportedly in negotiations with Bellator MMA. Really, really interesting here. His original name was Ryan. He legally changed it to Ryback, so he continued to use it after he left the WWE, which a lot of wrestlers do. Ultimate Warrior decided to change his name to the Warrior.
He legally
changed his name to Warrior so that he can continue using that after. I mean,
smart.
R.I.P. But
he's dead.
Ultimate Warrior, really? Ryback, this guy's fucking huge.
We got somebody fact checking that right now.
This is the guy that CM Punk pretty much blames for a lot of his own back injuries back in the WWE days, saying that he's a shit wrestler, doesn't pay attention.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then having some botched surgeries from a physician that the WWE hired. Anyway, all tied together, there was pictures of him wearing a really, really poorly tied white belt in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class with like a hashtag. It's like trying new things or fucking something like that.
Just like, Ryback things.
Gaining new skills or something. Anyway, saying that he has spoke with Bellator in negotiations.
Don't click on that hashtag, by the way. It'll send you down a real dark hole.
Scott Coker has not indicated anything signing at all. He just said, we are just speaking.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen, but there are rumors that he would go in there. So good for Ryback. He's fucking huge, man. He's like Bobby Lashley without skills. I don't know. Maybe he could fight Batista because I know he was trying to get in Strike Force or Bellator with somebody at some point, right?
I don't know. Batista's terrifying.
That'd be a good fight, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, why not? Two former pro wrestlers trying to actually do MMA.
I think Batista might murder him.
I'm okay.
I like that yellow gi though.
That guy's got the yellow gi.
It's awesome. He looks like a fucking now and later.
I mean, maybe Bobby Lashley will fight him. Bobby Lashley actually fights for Bellator.
Yeah,
You know?
I'd be cool with that.
Somebody's got a sweet tooth today.
So yeah, we'll see what's happening there.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if CM Punk actually gets fired from the UFC and signs with Bellator, boom, rematch in an actual fight. He can break his back for real.
There's no way. How big is Ryback though? You said he's huge. Yeah,
he's
they're not
265.
Yeah, they're not in the same weight class. No way.
Huge.
Just like bend him over the railing.
The railing.
Yeah.
I'm glad he clarified
The thing. Whatever. Bend him over something.
Something.
That was horrible. That was
Ruslan
a big
Mekmadov
fucking miss right there.
has been flagged by the USADA for potential anti-doping violations. Heavyweight, ranked number 12 in the world, has been removed from the rankings and is due to an out-of-competition test. Investigation pending.
Okay then.
There you go. Let's see. Moving on, we have.
What was this? I missed
This was interesting. UFC.
Oh, that's what I have right here. I was wondering if you had that.
Has announced the addition of 23 celebrity investors into the UFC.
I've got a list right
yeah,
here,
I have the list.
Well, then why did I get my fucking phone out?
I don't know why.
I don't know either.
And let's see, who do we have? We have The Weeknd rapper, Adam Levine from Maroon 5, Anthony Kiedis, Ben Affleck, Calvin Harris, Cam Newton, Conan O'Brien, Flea, Guy Fieri, Jimmy Kimmel, Lee Nia, LL Cool J, Mara Sharapova, Mark Wahlberg, Michael Bay, Rob Dyrdek, Robert Kraft, Serena Williams, Sylvester Stallone, Tom Brady, Trey Parker, Tyler Perry, Venus Williams are all going to be part of the UFC ownership group now.
There's some smart people in this group that have really done really smart business decisions.
They're basically saying, by expanding our ownership group...
Just Diedrich alone.
Yeah, Diedrich has done great. Tyler Perry has done great. Mark Wahlberg, as far as his producing, has done fantastic.
Really good job, yeah. They're saying, by expanding our ownership group to include this caliber of talent and entrepreneurs, it's a strong indicator of its fast-growing global presence. New investors bring an incredible depth of knowledge and experience to help us continue to evaluate this brand, capitalize on its entertainment and sports crossover appeal. They're also saying, basically, this is kind of helping bolster some publicity for the UFC, and also it will help out with promotional muscle, basically, saying that, with the celebrities and stuff like that, they're more likely to talk about it and likely to promote the organization.
Exactly.
Besides just being a fan, now they own it, so they're definitely going to be...
There's a lot of people online that are like talking shit about this because they don't understand that concept about having this star power behind it. Is if the sport was struggling, I'm not saying it was,
right?
But if the sport was teetering on being a mainstream sport, it's
It's
done
not anymore.
Now. Yeah, it's 100%.
Now with these kind of, I mean, you've had a lot of these people. Like obviously, Wahlberg's been to a lot of the fights. You've seen him, you know, kind of in the. You've had a lot of.
But like you said, you're going to have them.
Jamie Presley used to go to a lot of the fights.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan, he always.
But they're going to be promoting him now.
Now they're going to be promoting.
I can't wait for a UFC South Park episode with Trey Parker. That's going to be fantastic.
It's going to happen.
And then Entourage comes back, but just with UFC fighters. You know.
Be nice.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm down for this. I think it's a fantastic thing. And like I said, there's a lot of really smart, not just celebrity names, but smart business players in here. So it's really cool to see that.
Gabriel Gonzaga has said that he is going to retire.
Yep.
Again. Because I'm pretty sure this is the second time we've seen him retire.
Yes, definitely.
He did step away. Actually, he got cut in 2010. He came back the next year, went 4-1. Since 2014, however, he's only gone 1-4.
Mm-hmm.
But he now says that he's just going to run his gym. He has no interest really in fighting in the UFC or in MMA in general, unless somebody will give him $100,000.
Which is like, people are, again...
there's that number again.
Yeah. There's Gonzaga's number.
That's the number.
Pig has a number. It's $100,000.
$100,000 is the threshold.
Joey's is way less.
Yes. You're not.
Joey has a 4-figure number.
5. Give me 5. Give me 5.
With 2 of them on the right of the decimal.
$100.
True fitting.
Are you gonna be like that drunk fan who was yelling at the guys at the Ryder Cup? Did you see that guy?
No, I didn't see him.
So Ryder Cup is obviously a big golf tournament in Europe.
Right.
Team Europe's up there. They got Team Europe versus like Team USA. Team Europe misses this putt, I think, like 3 times. This drunk American guy is yelling at him.
Sunk it, right?
He's yelling at him. You can't make that putt. You can't make that putt. So what are they? He's like, oh, you think you can make it? Come here. The guy's like, yeah, okay, hops over the little thing, bringing their high-fiving him, and then his opponent, or one of the teammates on Team Europe's like, I'll also give you $100, slaps it down next to the ball if you can make the putt, sinks it.
Yeah.
Sinks it.
And then he went and bought more beer.
Probably bought more beer with the $100, easily.
Well, he bought 3.
3 beers. You can be like, are you going to be, that's what you should do, is you should go to a UFC event, get cage side to be like, you can't sink that choke. You can't sink that choke. And you're like, oh yeah, come here and fight this guy for me. Okay. I'll give you $100 if you do it. All right.
It works.
There you go.
We can write that in my obituary the following day.
Jumped in the octagon, thought he could do it.
I bet I could last longer than Aldo.
Then Aldo?
Yeah.
Against McGregor?
Against McGregor?
Against anybody.
Anybody.
I told you, I'm going to kick
First
you.
time Fedor lost, I think you said about this. I could have lasted longer than Fedor. I remember that. We talked about this.
Possible, because I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
And then
I'm going to get my warning.
You're going to get your warning.
Then I'm going to poke you in the fucking eye.
Get your warning.
And then you can kick my ass.
I'm just going to run.
Just going to Caleb Starnes it?
I'm going to hide behind people.
Oh, man, I get so winded so quick.
Jump behind Big John.
Blow the whistle.
Peekaboo.
But then back on the Gonzaga thing, like, I think the number's there because he's perfectly content doing what he's doing at his gym.
Yeah, he's super happy.
And that's the number that moves the needle for him.
Yeah.
That's what makes it move. So it's not like he's demanding a $100,000 payday, which, again, people online are being like, oh, you're not worth that much. It's not what he's saying.
Right.
He's saying that's the number that moves the needle for him.
Right.
Anyway, moving on to...
Big fights getting announced. I don't know if you guys heard this big fight being announced this week.
No.
This is going down in Krakow, Poland. KSW 37.
Yeah.
Headlining. Of course, we have Mariusz Podolski, 320-pound former world's strongest man.
Yeah.
9-5 in MMA. He's beat Sean McCorkle, world and Olympic judo medalist Paul Natusala, Hulse Gracie Jr. Big names, man. He is now going against Polish rapper Popik the Monster Rack.
He had 3 fights in 2008.
Yeah, he beat 0-3 Glenn Reed, 1-6 Kev Sims, and he lost to a guy who was 1-4.
Dude, I'd love to be a Polish rapper.
However,
the names that rhyme with Iski.
He also...
Iski.
You need more vowels, man.
he is going to be weighing 90 pounds less than his opponent. He also has some of probably the worst tattoos in MMA history.
Wait a minute. Can we take off Joey's shirt?
Joey doesn't have an MMA record that's on record. That's on record.
Okay.
That was a boxing match, not an MMA match.
All right.
Here we go. You see, not bad. I mean, I don't see too bad. I've seen worse tattoos. But then he decided to get his eyeballs tattooed.
Uh-huh.
And then he decided to get scarification, so he actually has this big scar carved into his head.
What is wrong with this guy?
He's a rapper. It's part of his gimmick.
Everything.
Part of his gimmick.
He's got body dysmorphic disorder.
They could not find a commission to sanction the fight. However, they don't have to because it's Poland.
Because it's in Poland.
There's no commission. So this is the freak show, man.
Is it happening?
What? This is more freak show than Japan.
What
I think
corner?
Japan needs to up its freak show activity here.
Well, I just want to know what corner or parking lot this is going down in.
What is going on down in that picture?
That's what they have to do for the weigh-ins.
Wow.
This is KSW 37 Circus of Pain.
Circus of Pain.
Yeah.
37?
Yeah, they've had 37
in a row?
shows. Yeah.
How many fatalities?
All of them.
Polish lives matter.
Polish lives matter.
Not in Poland, apparently. You can go to the fucking doctor and get your face scarred up.
That is wild.
You pay extra for that not to happen when you go to the doctor.
That is wild shit, man.
So yeah, I think we should put a picture of that guy on our Facebook.
I'm down.
I'll get that.
He scares me.
That up there. Obviously, the big fight that was announced that we've been talking about for how many weeks now?
Yeah.
At least 2 shows, right?
At least 2 shows.
At least 2 shows.
And that we were told wasn't going to happen.
Wasn't going to happen because it was getting skipped around. And
Yeah, you fucking goofs.
Telling you, anytime he says no, it's yes.
UFC 205.
He would be the worst person to have consensual sex with ever.
There is a bad joke in there somewhere. There is a bad joke in there somewhere. UFC 205, Alvarez versus McGregor is happening.
Worse than Cosby?
Isn't it? Well, if you like nap time.
Yeah.
Allegedly
Allegedly.
fucking card, man.
Yes, dude, this is the best card ever on paper.
On paper.
Ever on paper.
For a while.
Dude, it's like a slow strip job, too. It's just getting better.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I like how there's, I only see like 2 guys from actually New York. Maybe 3.
I was really, really hoping that we'd get Phil Baroni back on this.
Right?
Hey, did you
on
see
the
the
undercard, fight card, some fight pass.
Say these are the 8 fighters
Yeah, I
that
saw
helped
that.
fight.
Here's the one that they got signed for the New York. Yeah, they had
1 out of the 8.
1 out of 8 fighters who went to New York to campaign for thing in New York. Only one of them got on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, this is gonna be crazy, man. Obviously, Twitter and everybody went afire based on this fight. A lot of guys not happy. A lot of guys are happy. One guy, we had the press conference.
It's like having a wife and a girlfriend, bro. Not everyone's gonna be happy.
Press conference happened. We had
Usually it's you, too.
McGregor talking a grip load of shit to everybody.
There's moments.
We had a fan kind of jump in there on the questions and turn and ask Eddie Alvarez how he plans on finishing Conor McGregor, saying he's not championship material when you've only been in one championship fight and you got knocked out.
Was that the guy who was like all swinging on Conor McGregor's nuts?
That was the Thai guy.
Yeah. All over him. And then, of course...
I like Cody Garbrandt calling him out, too.
I mean, a bunch of people did. One of the things I did like... I thought it was a pretty good by Jeremy Stevens. They said, who do you think in your division? They asked Conor, is going to give you the biggest test. Jeremy Stevens is sitting behind him and says, me, the guy who actually knocks guys out in our division.
Yeah.
You TKO guys, I knock guys out.
Right.
Conor McGregor goes, who the fuck is that guy? And
I thought it was Cody Garbrandt that said that.
No, that was Jeremy Stevens. Who the fuck is that guy? Which everyone laughed.
Mistake.
Jeremy Stevens says, it's kind of sad. He's like, because I couldn't hear what was being said throughout the whole press conference or what anybody was really saying.
So automatically the fucking McGregor nut swingers go, watch Heathen Stevens get burned.
Yeah, and he says, he's like, I couldn't even hear what Donald Cerrone was staying, and he was next to me. He's like, so I tried to jump in and get a little bit of a buzz. Obviously, he's like, but I couldn't. He's like, I didn't want to sound like an idiot. I couldn't hear what was being said. He's like, we got into it. It is what it is. He knows who I am. He's like, I've fought on cards before that he's been in. I've had nasty knockouts. He's only TKO'd guys. So yeah, he says he'd like to fight him. Obviously he's focused on Frankie Edgar first, but he still wants to fight McGregor.
I want to see anybody fight McGregor that can beat him.
Dana White said that if he said this for a long time, he's gonna have to drop a belt to be able to gain a belt. He then said that he will have to, if he's going to go for this lightweight belt, if he wins the lightweight belt, he will have to drop one of the belts.
Well, of course he will.
He's not able to hold both belts at the same time. McGregor obviously shoots back and says it's going to take a fucking army for them to get him off of me. I'm going to wear one on each shoulder. There's nothing they can do about it. Dana White says we'll get it to
You've never defended a belt, ever.
We'll see what happens when it comes. We have, let's see who else. Nurmagomedov is very upset, saying that this is, I've had 2 bout agreements. This bullshit champ refuses to sign. I basically got used the whole time to make Conor and Eddie get on their knees and beg. He's very upset.
Yeah, but then he signs a fight for that night, right?
I haven't seen Nurmagomedov fight. Yeah, maybe is he on that card? Is he on the...
He does have a fight coming up.
On that same card? Let's see. Don't see him on that one.
He got signed to something.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo immediately went on and says, I want to be released from my contract. I'm ready to retire. He's upset. He says, the person in charge of the event now is Conor McGregor. I'm not here to be Conor McGregor's employer. I asked for my contract with the UFC to be terminated. When they suggested the fight against Frankie Edgar, Dana said the winner would either be for challenger or a linear belt. Neither has happened. They said he was going to return to the featherweight division after he fights Nate Diaz. That has not happened. I've been lied to so many times. I don't feel motivated to fight in the UFC anymore. He says, we basically waited publicly. He said he wanted to fight with McGregor to happen. Didn't happen to my surprise. I found out last night he's going to be fighting Eddie Alvarez, who has also been denied by Dana White himself, even though I've asked him. He says he's going to keep the featherweight belts, be able to get 2 simultaneously. I understand he's a big draw, but there's a limit to which there is, no longer a sport and it's a circus. I don't want to have that type of fight with the UFC. I want to move on with my life and move on. He's like, it's not about the money. I can't take it anymore. I've reached my limit. It's not about the circus or anything. He says, I feel like I've been walked on. UFC's never given me anything that I wanted. Everything I've had to earn. Everything was because of my own efforts. I don't want to fight anymore. If they offer me millions, they can keep them. I don't want it. I'm not a whore. I'm not going to sell myself. I am a man. I will cancel. If we won't, we're going to cancel the contract and I'll go fight in another sport. Or he'll go do another sport, not necessarily fighting. His coach says they're even willing to take it to court to try to get out of their fight.
Yeah, and MMA Junkie's reporting that Michael Johnson and him have signed a fight at 205.
Nurmagomedov?
Yeah, Nurmagomedov and Michael Johnson. Official for UFC 205.
All right. So he's
Jesus
basically
Christ.
saying...
That's
That's what I'm saying.
insane.
The card's just getting better.
A little perspective on this. Some people were talking to Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone says, this whole red panty night, as it became kind of lexicon for the MMA, He says it's not what everyone says it is. A lot of people say, why don't you get the Conor fight? That's the money fight. He goes, yeah, it's fucking great. He's like, but they don't get it. He's like, he is the money fight, but it doesn't work that way. I'm obligated under contract to take X amount of dollars no matter who I fight. Unless you're a champion, you get pay-per-view dollars.
Or if you have it in
or if
your
you're having
contract,
a title fight, yeah. However, he's like, of course, Eddie's going to fight a champion because that's where the pay-per-view money is. I understand that. It doesn't work the way you think it is. You can't just pick and choose how much money you're going to make. They tell you this is it. The reason why Conor McGregor is saying break out the red panties when you fight me is because he's a champion. He's telling you you're going to make the money because I'm the one that's bringing you the money. You don't get to pick how much money you make. You fight me because I'm a champion. You're going to make extra money.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it comes
until
down
he
to.
starts losing.
Until he starts losing.
Right.
Dana White's kind of trying to defend it, saying, there's different level fights. When you're a pay-per-view and you're a star, obviously in this sport, you eat what you kill. Guys bring in the majority of the revenue. They make a majority of the revenue. You look at where it came from to where we are today. This is how it's going to be.
Do you believe that this could be the possibility? Okay, after watching what Nate did to him, they realized that they've got to make the money off this kid that they can, because once he starts fighting real people, he's not going to be around very long.
I don't think he's going to be around very long anyway. He's going to relinquish the 145 belt if he gets through Eddie Alvarez. And even if he doesn't, he's not going to go back to... He's shown that he doesn't want to go back to 145.
Well, not only that, but now you have 5 rounds of video to break down to this guy.
He says he feels most comfortable at 155, and this is where he should have been fighting anyway, which he has fought. I mean, and when he was over in the UK, over on the European circuits, he was the 155-pound champion.
Exactly.
That's where he felt comfortable.
Over in the little pond.
He did. I'm just saying.
He was 145 and 155 pound champion over there.
But he never defended either belt.
Right. And so what he's going to do here is my prediction for this is that he's going to fight Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez is going to beat him, just like Nate Diaz did. And then he's going to demand a rematch with Eddie Alvarez, possibly win that one.
You don't think he goes from fighting Eddie Alvarez, losing, going back to 145 where he's the champ and defending his belt?
No, I think he's going to want an immediate rematch.
I don't think he can do 145 again, healthy.
I think it's pretty. Yeah, I think it is pretty tough.
I think
it's always been a tough cut for him.
Yeah,
his cut against Aldo, he looked like Skeletor when he weighed in.
I mean, in short, I think you're right. I think this train is coming to an end quickly, and the UFC is going to capitalize on that as much as they can, obviously.
Because I read that, and going through a lot of people's articles, and everybody's pretty much saying the same thing: is that as much as everybody's pissed off about it, it's kind of smart for the UFC the way that they're doing, because one, they're building on this guy as much as they can while they can.
Yep, and I mean you gotta admit,
and they gotta pay him.
We've only had 2 guys ever hold 2 belts, never at the same time. BJ Penn, Randy Couture.
Yeah.
Okay, they're the only guys who've ever had belts in 2 weight classes, never at the same time. This is the first time this is available, and you have a star like Conor McGregor who's obviously beating guys. He got his belt.
From the business aspect, yes, of course, it makes sense
because everybody wants to see a 2-division champion. How many 2-division champions? We have like 12 division champions in boxing, right? Because it's only like 3 pounds, 5 pounds in between.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different. I understand that. We've talked about that before. It sucks tying up the division.
But other than Aldo, pretty much his other fights were pretty much fed to him.
Yeah. Again, I think we talked about this before.
And then
Chad Mendes not on short notice, I think could have outlasted him.
If he hadn't got away from
and
Chad
people
Mendes
talk about, and even Conor, somebody brought that up to him, and he goes, "Well, yeah, but how'd that fight end up? I knocked him out."
Well, yeah. But I mean, how many guys have been on the about to be knocked out, got a lucky punch, and knocked the other guy out?
Sam Smith. The fucking king of it.
He did it 3 times.
Oh Jesus!
Right.
Kung Lee.
Yeah.
Pete Sell.
Yep.
There was somebody else.
There was somebody else he tried to do it on too. Yeah, I remember that.
It happens, and some of these guys can't say that. That was my training. No, it was it's a crazy right hand that did that.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
No, this train's going to come to an end. The UFC's going to get as much money as they can off of it, and then we'll move on to the next nuts to swing from.
All right, so let's go with this. Let's go with the, what of course all the Conor fans are saying. He's going to win the 155-pound belt. Where does he go from here? Does he drop the 145, stay at 155?
No.
Or does he just keep talking his way through whatever he wants?
He'll go to 170.
He already tried that.
He'll do it again.
No belts.
And he took on number 5 at 170 and had a problem.
And even Nate says, I'm tired of Dana talking shit about me, saying, Nate's a monster at 170. He's like, I've been fighting 155 my whole career. I wasn't a monster. He's like, I came in at 170. I didn't come in at 200 like everyone was saying.
Oh, there was a Ireland.
He did look big. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast. The pictures we saw, he looked pretty fucking big.
There was an Ireland podcast that came out and said that they had the official numbers that Nate walked in at 191 and McGregor was at 167.
Nate saying he has a scale that he's shown that he walked in at 171.
No, I know, but I mean
fight night on fight night.
So what they do is they just make the dragon that he slayed that much, and he didn't even slay the dragon. The dragon helped him up off the ground.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's gonna be a crazy year, man. This has been 2016 has been a crazy.
Absolutely.
It's still not over yet
for MMA
because we might see the crazy fight December 30th.
It's true. Rumors are that Rousey's pretty pissed off, wants to come back, and is willing to fight CYBorg.
Yeah, she even she tweeted to Colin Cowherd,
yep.
Yeah, from the Herd,
yep.
and had said, "I know I said I would fight CYBorg, but now I'm a little nervous. You really think that she's the one that should take my first fight back?"
That's what Rousey said?
That's what Rousey, yeah. Now, she hasn't come out yet and said she was hacked or anything, and for some reason, the Herd has been... has made a big way into MMA.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd has been having a lot of guys on lately. Yeah.
Why would she say
just
that?
Like Jim
That's
Rome.
just a weird thing to say.
I feel like Jim Rome was one of the original guys who was kind of part of the ESPN sort of transitioning. Like, he was having fighters on for a while. I remember that.
I think this whole thing works out to where, remember, I said she was going to take a break. We said she was going to take a break. This was her break. This was her way to take a break. And then she just comes back and annihilates everybody.
Never coming back.
Did you ever pay your $10?
Joey doesn't want to lose his
money.
Still
waiting.
No, did you pay your punk bet?
No,
I'm still waiting.
Because I want to see if Rousey comes back. Then I can just give you a 20.
Doubler.
I think I'm just going to short you on the sticker money. Just call it even.
Fair enough.
All right, so we had... I forgot to talk about this last week, and I was very upset with myself.
Oh, that's right, the Rizin event. Yeah.
Rizin World Grand Prix 2016 opened up in Japan on Sunday at like 3 in the morning.
This is the one that Gabby Garcia was fighting at.
It's the one Gabby Garcia... There were some crazy fights on here. Gabby Garcia didn't win her fight in the open female... She was in an open weight contest against Destiny Yarborough. She won first round submission key lock. Crazy Horse Charles Bennett was back.
Yeah.
Was back in a fight against Minoru Kimura, knocked him out, went on some crazy-ass rants in the octagon while laying down and holding a microphone. Because it's Crazy Horse, man. The guy's nuts. Almost got into a fight with Wanderlei Silva in a lobby before, because back in the Pride days, he went into the locker room of Shootbox and tried to attack them.
That's right, yeah.
And then he alleges he knocked out... He did get submitted. He got put to sleep by one of the Shootbox guys. Yeah. However, he claims he knocked out Wanderlei Silva before that happened.
That's like some old school MMA
old school Pride shit right there. He wants to fight Wanderlei any weight class, he says, even though they're like 3 weight classes apart. Yeah, he fights at 155, I believe, and obviously Wanderlei's at 205. Rumors are Rizin is trying to figure out how to make this happen. They didn't expect any of this to happen. They didn't try to make this a shoot where they don't know what's going on. They just know, Crazy Horse is crazy, Wanderlei's crazy. Maybe this will work out.
It's funny catch weight somewhere in the middle and make this happen.
The open weight tournament did happen. What was that? Simon Bajor over Doris Axtulos, Amir Ali Bakbari over Joao Alameda, Valentin Moldavsky over Karl Evgenian. I have no idea. Yuri Prozarak. There's way too many consonants in this. Mark Tanios. Krokop over Hungman Myung. Also in the opening round. And Baruto Kaitao over Kajuda Fajita.
And now with Krokop getting that win, they're going to make a match.
He's in the open weight tournament.
In Rizin.
He is in Rizin.
Oh, no, but they're gonna. Yeah, no, he's in Rizin.
Yeah, in round 2, he has basically Wanderlei got a bye in the open weight.
So he's fighting Wanderlei.
He's fighting.
That's
Wanderlei.
Right. I saw a poster.
If he didn't win, Hungman Myung was gonna have to fight Wanderlei, but they all kind of expected Krokop to win. My sleeper pick, Baruto, former sumo wrestler. Just throwing that out there. It's a great freak show. Kron Gracie over Hideo Takoro.
Awesome.
Also in that,
good for Kron.
Fajita has decided to finally retire at 45 years old after his loss in the openweight tournament.
Great career.
Great career. Still competes as a professional wrestler in the IGF. Old Ironhead, man. That was the guy. He threw in some crazy fights in Pride. Go look those up if you get a chance.
That's some good old school stuff, man.
So yeah, it was, and the production value was there. We had the crazy long entrances. You had what's her name?
The crazy homeless lady?
With the Japanese, rolling R's, just yelling out names. It was a good event. I got to watch a little bit of it on.
That's cool. I watched the Gabby Garcia fight.
It was good.
Yeah,
She
Gabby
looked like a
Garcia is
monster.
just. There was an angle where it reminded me very much of Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
Where it was like
this with
that was exactly it.
Yeah,
With
you have
Mighty
Gabby
Mac
Garcia and you have like Little Mac.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, poor Little Mac.
I felt legitimately bad.
She gets
for her
the
for a
one
minute.
whoop, and you're
Yep.
done.
Yep, pretty much. Good stuff though. Find it online. And
Invicta 19 happened.
no, wait, we didn't announce Luke Rockhold versus Jacare 2 is official now.
Oh, it's official?
Yeah.
I didn't have an official. So.
I saw it right before we came over here.
Okay. There
I
you
wasn't
go.
sure if you had it or not.
I
but
didn't have it on there. Sorry.
Exciting stuff. I think it's 206,
Nice.
I believe. So jumping into
Invicta
Invicta
19,
FC.
yeah, that happened over the weekend as well.
Stick with
Yeah, I mean, you can do the 2 championship fights. Obviously, Akea Hamasaki defends her belt and is able to defend it against Yan Yufrey. TKO doctor stoppage in round 2. This is the atomweight champion for Invicta. And the flyweight championship, Jennifer Maya keeps her belt over Roxanne Madafri in a split decision.
wow.
It's good for Madafri for actually making it to a championship bout, though. I mean, working her way through her whole career. And this was definitely...
And fighting good enough to get to a split decision.
Fighting good enough to get to split decision. This is somebody who has been in women's MMA for a long time.
One of the pioneers, for sure.
Pioneers of MMA, yeah.
She was pretty beat up, though.
She's been doing it for so long, man.
Doing it for a long time. And then you have... do you want to talk about Ultimate Fighter or you want to talk about the fight night first?
We'll do Fight Night, I guess.
Fight Night? Okay.
Recap that real quick.
So, this was going down in Brazil on Fox Sports 1 and Fight Pass.
Yeah, and so on Fight Pass, you had Gregor Gillespie go up against Giaco Franca. This went to decision in favor of Gregor. Vicente Luque went up against Hector Urbina. This was a KO in the very first round at 1 minute in favor of Vicente. Alan Patrick up against Stevie Ray. This went to decision in favor of Alan Patrick. Jumped on to Fox Sports 1. Eric Silva gets a win over Luan Chagas with a rear naked choke in the third round. Jussier Formaga up against Dustin Ortiz. Jussier wins by decision. The next 2 were decisions also in favor of Rani Yaha and Michael Prezeres. Then you jump onto your main card here with Godofredo Papi. Gets a win with a submission over Mike De La Torre.
I thought Mike De La Torre was going to take this fight, man. I thought he was doing pretty well, but...
Until that rear naked choke came
him.
in. And then Eric Spicely also got a rear naked choke over Thiago Santos.
Anybody named Thiago scares me.
You're not wrong, but he lost.
It's not bad. He
He did lose, but anybody named Thiago scares me.
Yep.
Francisco Tonaldo gets a TKO doctor stoppage over Paul Felder.
That cut was massive.
Bloody, bloody, bloody.
His forehead just wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Head Gina. Head Gina. Roy Nelson gets a win over Bigfoot Silva and John McCarthy.
Yeah. Dana White not happy about this. He doesn't like Roy Nelson.
No, he's never liked Roy Nelson.
Never liked him. But basically, Roy Nelson kicked John McCarthy in the butt and then walked off giving him the finger. He was upset that he he felt that he waited too long to stop the fight. I don't know. He apologized. He says, but I wouldn't take it back. Obviously, he says because Bigfoot's my friend. Big John should have been on top of the option. Dana White says you never put your hands on a referee.
No,
ever. He doesn't
He
matter
did
what.
put his hands on him.
Or feet.
Semantics.
You should never hit or touch a referee.
With your feet hands. Keep your feet hands to
Ever.
yourself.
He says, flipping him off, yelling, whatever. He's like, you want to flip the ref off? Fine. You want to yell at him? Fine. But you never put your fucking hands on a referee ever. You can't even apologize for that.
Yeah, but him and Big John talked it out, though, right?
I haven't seen anything that's come after this. They said that the Brazilian Commission is looking into and investigating possibly some sort of
It
punishment.
was 2 Americans. They laughed about it.
But the only thing they can do is if Big John says something. That's the only time that's ever going to happen. If Big John wants to press, I guess, charges or whatever it is, that's when they can.
I want to see Big John fight Roy Nelson.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll see what happens.
For a 40 and a bucket of chicken.
Yes.
Like the old bump fights.
Pretty interesting. I mean, do you guys feel that he took too long to stop it?
I didn't think so.
I think that, like what a lot of people said, if you take Roy Nelson and you put him on the ground and you stop it early, he's going to jump up and go, hey, I still had some fight left in me, So you're damned if you do, you're damned if
I
you
think
don't.
he let his emotions flow a little bit too
Especially because
freely
it's his
on this. Because it's his friend. Bigfoot Silva's done.
I think so.
He thought it should have been a walk-off. So why didn't he just turn and walk off?
Really? You got a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Yeah. It's your fault, Roy Nelson.
Yeah.
Hayden Barao gets a win over Philip Nover with a unanimous decision. And your main event...
Yeah, well, let's talk about that fight. Did you watch that fight? Do you feel
yeah.
Is Hayden Barao the world beater he once was, the champion?
No,
Did you
not
see
at all.
glimmers of the champion that he once
not at all.
was?
I mean, it's there, but he just needs to pick up the pace.
No, I mean, he won the fight, but no, he's not the guy who went 21, 22 fights without losing.
Because there was a part in the second where it looked like Felipe was about, was gaining on him.
Well, he still gets the UD in the co-main.
He did.
With Christine CYBorg Justino getting a TKO over Lena Landsberg in the second round. 2.5 minutes. I think this only went to the second round because of the cut CYBorg had to go through.
The weight cut?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you survived longer than anybody in the bar saying you're going to survive. Good for you, Lena.
Yeah. I really think that she can attribute that to the weight cut.
They were talking about, they have video of her weigh-in, and they're saying, that the scale was jumping around quite a bit. It jumped... what do we have here? We had it jumped from 139.5 to 141.5 to 141.45. It was jumping all over the place. They're saying, there's a problem with this digital scales. It only goes by 0.5, so it actually, even if you're 171.2, it's going to say 171. If you're 171.3, it rounds up.
What happened to the old metal certified scale where the guy comes in that morning, certifies everything, he puts his little piece of tape on there.
Yep.
Because we're in the digital age, man.
Yep. He says, regarding the
look where it's got us.
Regarding the scale and the oscillation, he says, there's a lot of factors that, there's the body movements of, minor body movements, clothing worn, everything. So she fulfilled her contract. However, she was fine. Everybody used the same scale. It just looked freaky because of the video that somebody had. Landsberg's corner says that Lena talked to CYBorg, and CYBorg admitted to coming in to the cage at 170. 2 weight classes higher than she was supposed to. However, the official weigh-in showed she made the catch weight.
And that's all you got to do, right?
That's all you have to do. So
if rules are rules.
Rules are rules. Pretty crazy. She says, no excuses on our side, but I mean, you say she comes in 2 weight classes ahead of you, and with additional skill level, it's going to be harder.
You took the fight.
Yeah.
Did the punches feel 30 pounds heavier than they should have?
Joe Rogan says, you know what? Please, UFC, please.
Each fist.
Open up a 145-pound division for her. Women's MMA is growing leaps and bounds. It'd be amazing if there were more weight classes. I think when it opens up, more weight classes, the level of talent in each division would grow just like it has in the men's divisions.
I think we need a 125 before we have a 145.
It's going to take some time. However, the level of talent in each division seems to rise to the standard of the champion. Chris CYBorg is this killer, fierce champion. Obviously, very entertaining. Killing these weight cuts, for her is killing her. I hate hard weight cuts like this. I think they'll get it sorted out. Just my opinion. Do you guys think, like you said, you think a 125 before a 145?
There's not enough 145-pound fighters at all.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Maybe they're hiding.
They're in Invicta.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a lot of girls at 135 that used to fight at 140. I mean, look at the Gina Carano weight class that we had over there in Strikeforce.
And how many girls?
138, right? 146, 147.
Yeah.
How many 145 judo girls are out there that might come over?
Right? I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are available, and they just don't have a weight class really for them.
If there's enough women to fill that division, then sure, go ahead and do it.
Let's see what her weight.
Right now, it's like how many gallons of ice cream?
No. We're talking about her. She did a 141, a 138, a 144.
Yeah.
So
I'm just telling you now.
And there was quite a bit of people in her division that were fighting at those weights.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever see her at 3 o'clock in the morning in Vegas, she's going to do the same shit to you that the other guy did. Yeah.
My mouth still hurts from that. So I don't. Wait, which one are you talking about?
Wait, what? That's a story I don't want to know.
That guy hit that dollar amount.
Damn right. He just won on the slot machine, buddy. So jumping into Ultimate Fighter, which happened on Wednesday
was it like
night.
Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore? It was that kind of action?
Yeah,
Except she was buying for him?
It was Robert Redford. Yeah, pretty much. I'll give you $1 million to sleep with me for the evening. All right. Let's go. Can I grab a beer on the way out? All right, so the Ultimate Fighter this season, the Season of Champions, is
I love it.
It's so fantastic. Such a great idea. We were talking before the show. We want every Ultimate Fighter to be like this from now on.
Except for the shit talk of Henry Cejudo.
I don't care. Yeah. I don't even care. That
You're bad for Mexicans.
Who cares?
And the way we need to be represented, you need to be a good role mododel.
If the drama has to be like this for us to get the good fights we're getting, then let it be be the way it has to be.
You're a dumbass.
These fights are phenomenal. These
You're
fights
a dummy.
Are awesome.
Let's walk out to the cage.
You're a stupid head.
So on Wednesday night, we had, of course, obviously another fight. This time we had I forget what seeds they were. I forget what seeds they were. Do you remember?
Number 7 against number 15?
Number 7 against number 15. So Ronaldo Candido up against Eric Shelton.
I don't know why that's off.
I don't know why either.
That's weird.
Is that what it was?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
No, it was go back down? Because that's what the match is next.
Jamie Alvarez.
Yeah, Jamie Alvarez.
Yeah, Ronaldo Candido over Jamie Alvarez.
Yeah, and Jamie Alvarez was ranked number 1.
There it is right here. Number 7 against number 10. No.
Number 7, okay.
Yeah, Ronaldo was number 7, Jamie Alvarez number 10.
Okay.
There you are.
Thinking of last week.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo Candido, he gets the win via submission over Jamie Alvarez.
That's a pretty close. I mean, number 7, number 10. That's a nice close matchup.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. Next fight.
Every fight though, every fight's been finished, which is phenomenal.
Yep.
And all these guys have the potential to win this, obviously, because they're all just so goddamn good.
I like because no matter what happens, you're obviously going to have someone, the number 1 guy out of this is going to fight Demetrius Johnson, the champion. And then I think this replenishes the entire division.
Yep.
Like this just throws, you could throw, I don't care, 1 through 15 in the division, and it's going to make for some interesting fights.
I mean, we're going to get, 8 of these guys are going to be in on the finale.
Yeah, has to be.
So the last 10 are going to get at least 3 fight contracts, right?
I mean, you look at what we had, the strawweights, right? Every single one of them got on the card at least for 1 fight.
Yeah.
All those girls got a chance.
Typically the rule
Maybe
is
2.
with the Season Ultimate Fighter, if you make it out of the first round, you will be on the finale card.
For sure.
And so to get on the finale card, you got to sign a 3 fight contract, right?
No, it's usually a 1 fight deal, and then based on your performance.
Based on your performance, whether they sign you again.
Okay.
Like you had guys or women like Jasmine Duke. She had 2 fights right in the UFC. She's gone, but she was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
She had at least 2 fights. Like I said, I think all these guys throwing them in division.
But Ashley Hill, how many fights did she get?
Yeah,
she got a couple. Yeah.
I think this is, like I said, replenishes the 125, who we've talked about for a while now. The 125-pound weight class, there's nobody.
Right, and that's why
Demetrius Johnson has cleared it out.
Yep.
That's why they have this show. I think you do the same thing. What would you like to see the next weight class be? What's another? Do you feel like there's a weight class that's lacking?
Yeah,
some
145.
Yeah, there you go. Do a 145 pound.
Yeah.
Take all the champions.
Well, I dig it. I just like the concept behind it. I don't care what weight class I do next. This has just been really exciting.
For our state, I think this formula is great. I mean, we have so many promotions of guys who are right on the cusp.
Yeah.
Whose every fight, when we see their post on Facebook or any social network, is like, if I get this win,
I might be there.
Yeah. Fantastic. So if you're not watching it, you're dumb. Turn it on.
It's really good this year. Or this season.
It's more better than all the other ones.
This season, because we're getting about 2 a year now.
About 2 a year.
Yeah.
More better than all the other ones.
Mo better. All right, jumping into your fight card tomorrow night. If you haven't heard our interview with John Dodson yet, make sure you check that out. It was a lot of fun.
Confusing at times.
Yes, very confusing.
That guy talked a mile a minute.
And the graphic that we have up, I think, is my favorite of your work at this point in time. I think I love that graphic.
It's hard to start encompassing everything you guys talk about and put it on the picture.
It worked.
Yeah, because I wanted to have the duck fighting Chuck E. Cheese in the background while he did magic
with a Pokeball
ball. It was just too much.
Go listen to the interview. You'll understand exactly what the hell Dennis is talking about as we jump into UFC.
I can't believe you guys spent 2.5 minutes talking about Pokemon. I mean, how long do you guys get for these interviews?
10 minutes?
No, it's sometimes 5.
Because I can
5 to 10 minutes, depending on when they go, hey, he's got other interviews to do. You got to get off the phone.
That's what I thought. I thought when I'm listening to him, I'm like, oh, he must have edited when they stuck in, like, you guys aren't even talking about UFC anymore.
No, because half the time we don't. we got tired of that, like the first.
No, I know, because everybody.
I think it really came down to when we were interviewing Donald Cerrone for the 3rd time. He's like, I'm tired of talking about this shit. You guys are radio guys. What are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You guys want to talk about wakeboarding? Let's talk about hunting. What do you want to talk about? What kind of crazy shit's going on in your town? Like and we're like, fighters don't want to talk about fights. Okay,
let's jump on to something else.
So then it became like 2 or 3 fight questions, and let's go off the rails.
Right. And now it's all Pokemon all day long because everybody's catching Pokemon.
Everybody.
All right. I forget the hell what I was just
jumping into the fight card here.
It wasn't even that. It was something else. Right. No, it doesn't matter. Oh, the whole interview thing. It's completely off subject, but kind of on the lines of what you were talking about. I got to interview Sully from Godsmack the other day, right? And I was kind of excited about that. So I like Godsmack, big fan of it. And they're like, well, he's doing a solo thing, so try to focus on the solo thing. I'm like, well, I have other questions I want to ask. I want to ask about poker. I want to ask about Harleys. I want to ask about, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, just make sure you talk about the album. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we're getting like 10 minutes, and then we're getting 8 minutes. And then my time frame was like dwindling down. I'm like, the hell, because people run over. I get it.
Yeah.
But I seriously got the phone call, and the guy's like, hey, so we're running a little bit behind. I was like, yeah, I kind of figured that. And they're like, so could you... maybe if you could try to end at like 32 after, that'd be great. And I was like, it's 29 after right now.
Hey, Sully, how you doing? Got a solo album? Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I was like, what the shit? You give me 3 fucking minutes for an interview with this guy? You're out of your mind. So sometimes, yeah, that does happen. But anyway, jumping onto the Ultimate Fight Night 96 on Fox Sports 1 card. Make sure you check this out because it's a freebie. You got your first 4 fights that are going to be on Fight Pass. Kelly Fischel is going up against Kedon Vieira. Also, Cody East is going up against Cody West. I'm sorry, Curtis Blades. Jonathan Wilson taking on Io Kutalaba. Yeah, that'll work.
Kutalaba.
And then your headliner is Nate Marquardt going up against Tandy McGrory. The Barn Cat is back. That's good times right there.
Nate Marquardt, man.
I'm going with Nate on this one.
Check your leg kicks.
Yeah, seriously. I'm going to go with Nate, but I liked Hamden a lot.
I like Barncat.
Yeah, Barncat's good. You're going to pick him?
Barncat by submission.
Barncat by sub.
I'm going to flip a coin.
I mean, Nate Marquardt.
I'm going to flip a coin when
former Pancrase champion. I mean, he was a great middleweight.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, but...
All right, and then we have Kieta Nakamura is going up against Elizu Zaleski dos Santos.
Yeah.
I'm going with Dos Santos.
Just like the name.
Yeah, anybody named Two Santas. I like that.
I mean, two Santas. Yeah.
Two Saints.
I like Nakamura personally.
There you go.
Shamil, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Dude, he's in the Laverne and Shirley song.
Abdur Akhmedov. Shamil. Shalal.
Abdura Mamakov.
Abdura Kamevov. Going up against Walt Harris.
Walt.
Laverne and Shirley.
I'm going Walt.
Laverne and Shirley. Harkin Diaz going up against Andre Touchy-Feely.
Yeah.
I'm going with Hawken.
I'm going to go Harkin. Harkin.
Who didn't make weight?
I don't know.
Harkin didn't make weight, so I'm going to take Touchy-Feely.
Okay. And then Luis Enrique de Silva going against Hakeem Christensen.
Three didn't make weight?
Yeah, 3 fighters didn't make weight on this.
Interesting.
Including both your main
and co-main.
Yeah.
Jumping on to Fox. This is on Fox Sports 2, by the way. Then jumping on to Fox Sports 1. Mm-hmm. We have Louis Smolka going against Brandon Moreno. Josh Berkman.
I like Smolka, man.
Smolka's great.
He's one of these guys who I think has kind of revitalized a little bit of the flyweight division.
Yeah, for sure. Smolka, I think I'll have to pick him.
And I think My MMA News has got an interview with Smolka.
Burke!
You want to check it out.
And then Berkman all day in this one.
Return
Berkman versus Zach Otto. Hey, Otto! What the shit? Will Brooks and Alex Oliveira going up against each other at 161.5 pounds.
5.5 pounds. Cowboy came in over. Oh, wait, he can't. He lost the term cowboy, right?
He can't use that anymore. He lost it. So this is supposed to be a 155.
Yeah, wow.
161. The next one, too. John Lineker. Supposed to be fighting at 125. Comes in at 136.5.
That's supposed to be, oh my God.
Because he heard the interview.
Yeah.
He heard the interview and Lineker was like,
I will fight anybody, any weight class, including
Lineker's like, fuck it, I'm not even going to weight cut.
That was the point there. Give me that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Heard about that one that Elvis flew like 8,000 miles for to get.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous.
Fool's Gold sandwich.
The Fool's Gold sandwich, yeah. That's 8,000 calories, that's right.
Ugh.
Why not? Go for it. So that's your Fight Night 96 going down tomorrow night.
You got Dodson, you got Lineker.
Well, fuck, if Lineker's that much heavier, I don't even know at this point, man. That's
Dodson said he could beat Stipe.
This is true. Dodson.
With ninja moves.
If Dodson doesn't start showing up with the what is it? Who was
Jurassic Park.
The Venom page, Pokeballs.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want to see him just show up with Pokeballs and throw him at his opponent.
There you go.
Tomorrow night, Fox Sports. Make sure you check it out. Tune in. It's a freebie, and it's always a good time.
And remember, know where Fox Sports 2 is if you're just coming in for the main card.
A lot of times it scrolls on the bottom, just letting you know. It scrolls, hey, you have to check out Fox Sports 2.
No, but they need to know where it's at on their on their cable
And we were
system.
talking about this, actually. I actually talked to Joey about this before we did our interview. There's only 4 fights on this main card. That's pretty low for a card going up on Fox Sports 1. Not only that, it's at 8 o'clock Pacific. So if you're over here on the West Coast, 8 o'clock p.m. That's pretty late.
Maybe that's why there's only 4. And they probably think that all these fights are going to go the distance.
They're talking about that they're pushing it back because of NASCAR. They've also pushed fights back now because of college football. Do you think Fox is ramping down? They're coming up. They have 2 years left on their contract with UFC. They're ramping down on the importance of the UFC and now pushing their other content?
No,
there's a lot of rumors online talking about this.
Well,
a lot of it.
Here's something that I've been trying to read more into is we are actually looking at a UFC channel.
Yes,
especially with the new owners and everything.
Yep.
And so,
I've heard that too.
Because
that's been going on for a while.
Because two networks have
Isn't that what HDNet was?
Yeah.
Well,
because two other channels have already tried to outbid Fox, and it's like the UFC's pretty much told everybody that they're not taking offers. They're not taking offers. So that leads me to believe with the powerhouse people who've bought in, and then now we're finding out all these
celebrities,
the celebrities that are coming in, that we're going to see a UFC channel.
Or are we going to see like Saturday Night Fights, like Showtime?
No, I mean
that'll be it. It'll be a UFC channel, probably on. I don't know if it's going to be basic cable, probably a premium cable channel.
Yeah,
that'll have everything. That'll have all.
Is there enough content for that though?
I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering.
They already have Fight Pass. Will that take the place of Fight Pass? Will that be the channel?
They want their money from Fight Pass, man. They want their money from Fight Pass.
But if you have to buy their channel, that makes that money.
But it's not going to be like, what are the Fight Pass, $9.99 a month?
Right. And at this point, it's all speculation, so we don't even know if it's real.
I think it's going to be more like Showbox.
With
the involvement of Wahlberg and stuff like that, I think it's going to be like he's going to want to produce the exclusive content for a premium channel, and that's how you're going to get it. But not just an entire UFC channel. But
will we still see pay-per-views?
Pay-per-views where their money's at right now.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, so that wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends. Of course, you can find us anywhere podcasts are broadcast, and on our website, splitdecisionmma.com. On Facebook, that's Split Decision MMA Podcast on Facebook. SD_MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Big thanks to strongboardbalance.com and, of course, mymmanews.com. And all of you who listen today, share with your friends. We'd appreciate it. From the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, Bueller and Dodge saying have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
Turtle Bar.
I like that.
We might still be live, or we might not be live. I don't know.
We are family.
Yeah, Turtle